to have paper notes. So, all right, here is y'all's journal. So, EQ, new EQ, be sure that you put your date. We'll use this EQ for a couple of days. And then the journal, you'll answer it here. And this would be an example of one that you would, if I asked you this one on the journal test, then you would answer it in a complete statement. So if you're absent, continue to look on YouTube because I am still recording and posting every day. But the difference will be if you are absent, usually these two boxes, I've moved them for today. Usually these two boxes will be up here. So what is today, the 8th? So if you were absent on the 8th, you would pull out the folder from the 8th and see maybe if we had any work for that. Don't forget, if you miss a quiz, if you're absent for a quiz, then you have to come during tutorials to take that up. There's not a class time to do that. All right, does anybody want to share why they think it is important to have procedures that you follow when you're first entering the room? Yes, ma'am. Yep, to just ensure safety and also just to get us going. The quicker we get going, the quicker we can get on our stuff. If we're learning something, then the more time you'll have to do your practice. So it's just so the same thing will happen basically every day. So you'll know what to expect. And I think that's a good thing for both y'all and also for me. Babe, you're going to have to keep your mask on. I know it's hard for all of us. So maybe they'll come up with the vaccine soon. We can all be hoping, and then we can get that and maybe not have to worry about it so much. All right, let's see what we got next. I got me a list today. I haven't actually taught a class now in a while, so I'm having to try to keep myself on target. All right, also, let me do this one. So things that are happening this week, no quizzes. That's a good thing. I'm trying to I hope it's kind of going to be an easy week until Friday when you have your test. I do have tutorials after school today and tomorrow, not tomorrow, Thursday. So if you were absent and you need to come in for a quiz, then you need to do that after school. Or if you failed one and you would like to bring it up to 70, you can come in and you can re-quiz. If you're a virtual student, Nadia, I don't think you need to re-quiz, but that link is there if you need to come in for tutorials. Your test will be on Friday. The review that you did, or that most of y'all did this past Friday whenever I wasn't here, was for extra points on the test. So that was good. I'll return that to you. Those are not the exact questions that are on the test, but they are good ones to practice with. It helps kind of forces you to go over the notes. And then we'll do some kind of little review, something on Thursday also. So hopefully the test will be pretty good for everybody. We do have lab tomorrow, so please be prepared. You have to have your hair pulled back. I do always have some rubber bands, but closed-toe shoes would be the other thing that would keep you from going into lab. And if you don't have your lab acknowledgement, sign, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Remember, you cannot have your phones out in my room at all. They have to be up the entire period, so please do not be tempted to have them out or to hide them under your legs or under your paper or whatever. I've done, this will probably be many warnings that I've given you, so I will take it up and turn them in, and then I don't know what the consequences are after that. It used to be that your parent had to come pick them up and pay for them. So please don't have your phones out. Those bags on the side is where you're welcome to put your phone, the little not Ziploc bags, the little pencil bags, if you think you're going to be tempted. If not, then you need to keep them down into your backpack. All right? Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, one day we took that quiz on the computer. It wouldn't let me.
Yes, I have your name down as missing one. I know that was out of your control, but you're either going to have to come today or Thursday and do that.
And I couldn't find the work on my computer, and I was wondering on Thursday if you could help me.
Yeah, that sounds good. After school?
Yes,
yes, that's perfect. Mrs. Mosier said it shouldn't be lost because I had that with another student, so hopefully we can find it somewhere. If not, we'll get it figured out. All right, so this is what I have for this class. Under the acknowledgement, as far as the lab safety acknowledgement, Cheyenne and Brianna, I'm missing y'all. So y'all need to just go over that. Are you Cheyenne? Okay, y'all just need to go over that with your parents or guardian or whatever tonight and get that turned in so y'all can do the lab tomorrow. Because I think it'll be more fun than doing some kind of book assignment, okay? And then under safety quiz, both of y'all two are missing the safety quiz. So if you come in after school today or on Thursday, you can take that. It's real quick. It's online, typical safety quiz. I think everybody made 100 or above. So it's a pretty easy one. Then the other quizzes, the first quiz that we did over properties and changes, Brianna, you're missing that one. And then the last one that we did over classification of matter, I have Armando and Carmen are missing that. Where's Armando at? Okay, and I know yours was the same issue as hers. And then Brianna, you're also missing that one too. Okay, so you're missing all three of the quizzes. So either, like I said, either after school today or on Thursday, and I'll have the other quiz figured out for you on that. All right. Anybody have any questions on that? I put a bunch of grades in yesterday, so you should kind of be able to look in there and see what you got going. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the procedures for my classroom that are a little bit different now that you're coming back into class. And this is posted in your Google Classroom. So you can have a reference for it if you would like. So this is kind of what you should do and what you should expect every time you come in. Like I said, you will have to wear your mask. When I wear my mask, y'all are being protected against me, and when y'all wear your mask, I'm being protected against y'all. So we will continue to do that until we're told that we don't have to, and then we can all do a dance of joy and move on to something else. So when you come in, if you'll always check the front table, usually there'll be a paper, not always. It's something that you need to pick up, and I kind of just put them there so everybody will get what they need. Then if you'll go to your assigned seat, put your phone in the pouch if you're worried that you're going to be tempted to get it out. And then if you'll check the board right over here, these are the things that you need to be successful that particular day. So like today, journal, which you need almost every day. We will not have a journal on a test day. We don't have a journal on a test day. And then Chromebook, whether we're going to need it or not. And if we need a calculator later on, then that would be up there. But you'll want to look here and see what you're going to need, and that way you can get everything out of your backpack. Go ahead and grab yourself your calculator and be ready to go. Then you want to read your journal. I try very hard to have it up here, and sometimes it'll just say check with a friend. So that means that you just want to check with somebody across from you to see if they got the same answer from you or what their answer was. I usually try to take a chance in to see if there's any questions, especially if we had covered something new the day before. And then we go ahead and go and start our lesson. We do need to clean the desk. So this period ends at 10:02. So maybe about 9:58 or so, something like that. We are going to need to clean the desk, and I know that I'm probably going to forget. So if y'all will help me remember, I will be appreciative of that. Let me hand something out. One thing that I forgot. So you get 3 bathroom passes a semester. So I'm going to go ahead and hand those out. These are yours to keep up with. You might want to put your name on it. Can't do my usual. What I want to do. Sorry if they have a little water on y'all. So y'all hold on to those. That'll get you there this semester. Okay, I have a couple of other things which you may or may not want. These are the notes that we did already. We've already filled them all in. They're blank. Would anybody like a paper copy? Just one person down here? Two people down here? I know if you're studying for a test, I don't know. For me, it's hard to just look on a computer and study, but y'all, we don't even want them to sit. Down here, just one. And then we got about 4 down here. All right. Did everybody on this one row want one? Might need to send one more down there. Okay, anybody else? So, well, like I said, we fill these out, but remember, if you're missing any part of it, please go to YouTube and catch up on that. And then the other thing is the review. Same thing, I know y'all did that online. Does anybody want a paper copy of that? Anybody else? Y'all will find out my technology is not my strong point. It's been very hard on me. I like my good old paper. All right. And we will go over the answers to that over here. All right. And Nadia, that's what I gave your mom, the 2 things I just handed out. All right. Next little bit. All right, so just some things about my class. I do enforce the tardy policy, so please be here on time. So you need to come in and get to work on your journal right away. The 10-10 rule is still in effect. You can't go to the bathroom 10 minutes after the bell rings or 10 minutes before the bell is getting ready to dismiss you. All electronic devices, they need to be put up. You can't come in with headphones on or with your phone out. And like I said at the beginning, I like to really enforce that because I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, I believe y'all go to some classes where teachers really don't enforce that policy. So then I feel like it's hard. Then you come to my class and I do enforce it. So y'all kind of get a little bit of a mixed signal. So that's why I like to be very straightforward with y'all. So y'all I can let y'all know that. Bathroom policy, like I said, I give y'all the 3 bathroom passes, which I just gave y'all out. I do have calculators. We won't use them for a while, but when we use them, we just need to clean them off as we're cleaning our desk off too. I did put a calculator app in your Google Classroom you may play with, and you may want to use that one. If you're comfortable with that one would be fine too. I do enforce the dress code, and part of the dress code is you have to wear your ID. I didn't really check for them today. It's kind of hard when I'm still picking up somebody on Zoom and to stand at the door too. But please have your IDs on and visible, and that doesn't mean in your wallet or in your pocket. So please start doing that, and we'll get in the habit of that this week. Food, gum, drink, all of that cannot be in my room. Can't have that out. You can have water, that's okay, but it has to be in your original container. In other words, you can't bring in a Yeti cup or whatever. Please, if you have trash, get into the trash can. For some reason, kids like to use all those sinks back there as trash cans during lab, and I'm not really for sure why. So let's just try to keep things cleaned up a little bit. I do something called Lowry loot. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll bring it up. Oops, maybe I'll bring it up again. And Lowry loot, I give them out. Those would be ones that, I give out. You can also buy them, and they can be used to drop 2 low daily grades every 6 weeks. They cannot be grades that you did not do at all. So in other words, if you have a 0 on something, you cannot use it to drop that. but other ones you can. They can also be turned in with every test to get +5 on your test. And things that you would bring to get a Lowry loot or 2 rolls of paper towels, highlighters, Germex, hand soap, or Clorox wipes. The paper towels we get from here, those brown paper towels, they don't really pick anything up. So just good old paper towels like you get at the grocery store would work a lot better. I do not give extra credit. We do a lot of assignments in here. You'll have plenty of daily grades, so I don't ever hand out any extra credit. The other thing about Lowry loot, you could use a Lowry loot to drop a low quiz grade, but that quiz still goes into the average because all your quizzes are averaged together for a major test grade. So that quiz will still go into the average. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Nope. All right. I'm not going to go over dress code. That is in your Google Classroom. It's the same thing as last year. Nothing's changed except you have to wear masks. That would be the only thing that's changed. All right. Where are we at? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Bunsen burners. So I don't know if y'all have used Bunsen burners in the past. Have y'all used it some? A little bit? Not. So obviously the thing that makes Bunsen burners may be a little bit more dangerous is because they have the open flame. If you lose track of where that is and you happen to lean across it, then it's easy to get burnt. If you're not watching your papers, it's easy for those to catch on fire. So that's why we kind of talk a little bit about safety. Tomorrow we'll be doing the lab, and it's where you take a piece of glass tubing, real small tubing, and you try to bend it in a 90-degree angle. So it's just kind of getting used to using the Bunsen burner and how it works and being safe with it. And that's another thing with using the glass. The glass is very hot. It stays hot for a long time. I manage to burn myself every year, it seems like, even though I do this all the time. So kind of getting used to that also and letting things have a chance to cool down. So we're going to watch a couple of videos about that. And then I'll do a little bit. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about your lab that you have in front of you. Nadia, this is the lab they're going to be doing tomorrow. It's under references in your Google Classroom. You'll be doing another assignment. But if you want to look at what I'm talking about. I've given you your lab ahead of time because you're expected to go over it and to know what's going on. Okay? So questions like, what are we doing in this lab shouldn't come up because that's a giveaway to me that you haven't read your stuff, okay? So you need to go ahead of time. There's pre-lab questions. I have them highlighted in yellow. And there's conclusion questions at the very end. The pre-lab questions need to be done beforehand. So I will be checking tomorrow and making sure that you have done those. And they need to be done on a separate sheet of paper. And this little introduction and this little other area, that tells you a lot about what you need to know. But if you don't have those done ahead of time, then you'll have points taken off, okay? So when you come in, you should have a separate piece of notebook paper with your pre-lab questions ready to go. Anybody have any questions on that? Nadia, you don't need to do those, okay, because you'll be doing something different. But we're going to be using the Bunsen burner, and this tells you about how it works, and so are the videos, and then this tells you about the different procedures. The only thing that you will not be doing is number 7, where it talks about, like, if I have a long piece of glass and what I would have to do to get it shorter, and I've already done that. You'll have a piece that's your correct size to work with. We'll also be working with protractors to try to get your angle measurement. Protractors are plastic, glass is hot. Over the years, I've had a whole lot of melted protractors. So that's part of your grade too, is giving your glass enough time to cool down that you don't melt your protractor, because you got to show me your protractor, okay? All right, now we'll look at the video. So just a couple of videos that we're going to look at here. I think the first one's a little bit better.
In this video, you're going to learn how to use a Bunsen burner safely and properly. This is a Bunsen burner. It allows you to heat materials in the lab both quickly and efficiently. Because you'll be working with an open flame, it can be dangerous, so I'll start by going over some safety rules. All along here should be tied back, and you shouldn't wear any loose or bulky clothing. materials on the Bunsen burner. Volatile and inflammable materials like ethers and alcohols can combust in heat, so it's definitely too dangerous for the Bunsen burner. When handling the barrel of the Bunsen burner, it's important to hold it at the bottom. When the flame is lit, it can get very hot any higher up, so doing this regularly will help you to remember to do it. You should never leave your Bunsen burner unattended when it's lit. You should make sure you're aware of where all emergency exits and emergency gas shutoffs are, as well as all safety equipment before you begin using your Bunsen burner. Now that you know all the safety precautions, you can begin to light your Bunsen burner. The first step is to attach the hose to both the Bunsen burner and to the gas line. Make sure that you attach it to the gas line and not an air or a water line. You'll now want to turn the barrel clockwise to completely close the air inlet. Do this until there's resistance. Now turn it back slightly so just a small amount of air is let through. You'll also want to close the gas needle valve located underneath the Bunsen burner. Do this by turning it completely counterclockwise. Leave this closed for now and turn on the gas. You will know the gas tap is open when the handle lines up with the tap. You'll now want to turn the gas needle valve clockwise slightly to open it. This lets a small amount of gas through. You should be able to hear a faint hissing, which lets you know that the gas is coming out of the burner. The next step is to take your flint and generate sparks over your Bunsen burner. You may want to practice this a few times before you turn the gas on, just like I did. To do this, you want to push up and across. Hold the flint just above the Bunsen burner and generate the sparks. You should now have a flame that's yellow-orange in color. To get a taller flame, turn the gas needle valve clockwise. And likewise, to get a shorter flame, turn it counterclockwise. Once you have your flame at a sufficient height, you'll want to adjust the heat. To make a hotter flame, you'll want to turn the barrel. Do this by holding it at the base. To increase the heat, you'll want to turn the barrel counterclockwise. This should change the color of your flame from yellow-orange to blue. Be careful when handling the barrel at this point because it can get very hot. Only handle it at the bottom. You also want to make sure that
If your flame has a lot of yellow or orange in it, that's not a real hot flame. So you're going to try to get it, I know it's kind of hard to see, and I'm going to light one in a minute. You're trying to get it where it's all blue and there's like an inner cone that's maybe a darker blue, because that's going to be where the hottest part is at the tip. So you kind of have to adjust your air to get it like that.
not to let too much air in because this can blow out your flame. You'll know your flame is ready to use when it's dark blue in color with a darker inner core. You'll want to hold your item just above the inner core to be in the hottest location. When you've finished using your Bunsen burner, there's a correct procedure for turning it off safely. First, you'll want to turn your flame back yellow by letting more air in. Do this by turning the barrel, holding the bottom in the clockwise direction. Now you'll want to turn the gas needle valve off completely by turning it counterclockwise. At this point, the flame should go out. Lastly, turn off the gas taps. You've now finished turning off your Bunsen burner, but make sure to let it.
Notice the gas is off when the lever is turned to the side. The lever has to be over the gas tube. That's when it's on. And that's probably one of those common things when we start using them. People will say mine's not working, but it's because it's off, then it's on in the middle, and then it's off if you come all the way over again.
It cool before putting it away. Using a Bunsen burner can be intimidating to even some of the most experienced. But if you follow the instructions and safety protocols that I taught you, you can always make sure that you proceed with the utmost safety precautions.
And so tomorrow we'll be wearing goggles, of course, so you have to keep those on the whole time. I do have some that they're like glasses, so they're a little bit more comfortable. If you wear glasses, then you have to wear the bigger goggles because they have to be able to fit over your glasses, okay? Nadia, if you want to, you can do the exit ticket and then you can go ahead and go off. I'm going to show them a couple of other things, but you won't be able to see them. Okay? Okay. See you tomorrow. And there'll be an assignment for you tomorrow. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good
Okay.
day.
You too. All right. So, I'll show you what I can here. We'll work together tomorrow. Let me turn my recording off real quick.